Not since the likes of CC Sabathia have we really seen a pitcher dominate while using a cutter as his main pitch. The ability to not necessarily miss bats, but to miss barrels was the calling card throughout his entire career. Now, some people will say that there are pitchers in the MLB today who do use a cutter, and yes, there are dominant pitchers in baseball today who do use a cutter. Garrett Cole and Brandon Woodruff among them. However, those guys just don't use the cutter like CC did. Instead, they really... Before we get onto the video, could you guys please hit the like and subscribe button? Currently, only 3% of people who watch my videos are subscribed, so if y'all do, not only would it help me grow my channel, but it also encourages me to create more videos like this one for you guys. And without further ado, let's get on to the video. I'm sure many of you have already heard the story of Nestor Cortes Jr., but I'll give you an abridged version nonetheless. To put it simply, Cortez was a 36th round pick as a high school pitcher out of Florida to the Yankees in 2013. He stowed away in the minors for 5 years until he made his major league debut on the lowly 2018 Baltimore Orioles team, and he struggled there. He bounced from New York to Seattle until finally landing back to the place where it all started, in the Bronx in 2021. This is where he cooked up something genius by beginning to throw his new cutter. In the ever-competitive rotation on the Yankees, Nestor needed to do anything he could to stay on that roster, even if it meant dabbling in something that no other pitcher of his caliber really has ever done in today's MLB. But Cortez was still throwing his fastball as his primary pitch, especially early in counts, and he used his cutter as his pitch to throw hitters off balance for his slider. Nestor Cortes was great in 2021, but underlying metrics simply showed him as good, and as an unproven pitcher in the Yankees rotation, he still may be on the outside looking in going into 2022. But then, 2022 came along, and Nestor Cortes began to throw his cutter more and more until it became his primary pitch. The results? Oh, only one of the most dominating pitchers in baseball today, with a sparkling 1.7 ERA, which leads to a 218 ERA plus and a 5.08 strikeout to walk ratio in 9 starts. His recent success over the past 2 years is almost directly correlated to his cutter. But why? Traditional measurements like spin rates and velocity don't particularly pop off the charts. However, his ability to miss barrels is what makes him elite. In today's MLB, the focus for hitters is much more on the north-south arsenal that many pitchers throw in the four-seam fastballs high, combined with the changeups, sliders, and curveballs low and away. In turn, this has caused an opening, if you will, for a cutter-slider combination, which focuses more on horizontal movement, old school, rather than vertical movement, new school, which many hitters are focused on because many pitchers throw it. Simply put, the cutter-slider combination focuses in on an area that many pitchers just simply don't throw and hitters simply don't see, making it a lethal combo. What Nestor does specifically well is making his slider and cutter look the same coming out of his hand due to his weird delivery, which makes swings and misses all the easier when one is 5 miles per hour slower and, more importantly, drops a couple of inches more. What his cutter four-seam combination does is more prototypical, if you will, to his pitch arsenal, in that it doesn't necessarily cause him to miss bats, but allows him to miss barrels, giving him one of the best hard hit rates in the league. What it can also do, and this is where I think Nestor has some untapped potential here, is get righties subconscious of that outside zone. After dotting a couple of cutters in outside to righties, this can cause the righties to be subconscious of that, and then a fastball in the left-hander's batter's box should cause them to lean out over the plate, and then only good things should happen then, either weak contact or a swing and a miss. Now, what is the future of cutters? Sadly, the success rate that is seen from cutters today is mainly due to the fact that cutters aren't really seen in today's MLB. Furthermore, Nestor's story looks more like an outlier and a product of unique circumstances such as his delivery that causes him to be successful. Instead, Madison Bumgarner's story seems like more of the norm. Although currently Madison isn't elite by any standards anymore, he is certainly above average, and that is saying something due to his abysmal 2020 and subsequently poor 2021 season. This is basically due to his increased cutter usage, causing him to miss more barrels and induce more weak contact. This path seems like more of the norm in what CC did as well. As veteran pitchers begin to lose some of their velocity due to arm fatigue, causing them to get punished more for living up in the zone, they can begin to shift to heavier cutter usage to still throw off a hitter's timing for their fastballs. I think some of the best pitchers in the game right now, such as Clayton Kershaw, Brandon Woodruff, Garrett Cole, and Zach Wheeler, will begin to create or even rely on their cutters more as they transition into the latter stage of their career. Their cutters will still allow them to be elite even when their velocity and spin rates may not be the best anymore. So, in conclusion, the cutters will mainly take the place of a role for an aging starting pitcher that was once elite and will still allow them to be elite, just like it did with CC Sabathia. Thank you guys so much for watching. Remember, if you enjoyed, please like, share, and subscribe, and comment down below new video ideas. I really enjoyed making this video, and I might transition to making more videos like this one in the long run. However, I will still stick to making prospect videos, and the mock draft is coming out soon, so remember to subscribe and hit the bell notification for when that one comes out. I'm back, and hopefully I will have a more consistent uploading schedule. But thank you for sticking to the end, and I'll see you guys in the next one.